All right, what's up, folks? Guerrilla Radio episode 16. I'm here with Coach Ben, who, if you didn't know it, is a pharmacist as well. So I think he adds a ton of value, not just as a good coach in the gym, but in his knowledge in terms of medications and other health aspects. So he's a great resource for the gym, and he's always reached out with good information. So he had some topics that he wanted to kind of talk about, and we'll play off of that. So I wanted to, I guess let's just start with your experience on, meshing the pharmaceutical world, or your job, your background, your career into what you see in the gym and what some like common things that you see.
Sure. So I graduated from Purdue University in 2008 with my doctorate in pharmaceutical sciences, and have done retail, and now I work in home infusion. So what I deal with a lot now is you're sick enough to be on IV antibiotics, IV nutrition, but you're well enough that you can be home, you don't have to be in the hospital. So one of the things, though, I like is the integration of Western medicine, and then to let the body heal itself through better lifestyle choices, exercise, eating well. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I think people forget is they get on a routine of getting medications as part of their daily routine, and then they adopt healthier lifestyle choices, and they forget to count the fact that they're on blood pressure medication or diabetic medications. So today I really wanted to talk about those two disease states mostly. Okay. More for the fact that maybe you just are on those medications and you don't really realize that they are going to change as your body chemistry and body physiology changes. So I want to just go over some highlighted things. This is not medical advice. You need to still talk to your doctor about these things, but at least maybe this will be a good starting point for you. What do I ask my physician? How do I go about asking the right questions if I want to get into a fitness regimen or to start eating healthier, going paleo or Whole30 or whatever you decide to do, counting your macros. How is that going to affect the medications that I'm on right now because of where I am at this point? Okay. So that's kind of, I think, to start, that's where I really wanted to begin.
So you think those are two got to be huge issues that you see pretty common, right? High blood pressure, diabetes. I mean, that's a big proportion of people you're probably on medications.
And some people have those issues and they don't know about it. So I think a lot of times you see gyms, and I'm sure here, they talk about making sure that you're healthy enough to be on, or to do exercise. Yeah. Are you healthy enough to have an exercise program? The nice thing about CrossFit is that we can adjust for you if you come to find out that you're not healthy enough, really. There's ways to modify and scale things. So that's what I really like about this modality, this idea of being able to vary it to your level. Mm-hmm. And so it's a good idea if you're not sure. Maybe it's a good idea to get a physical, just kind of see how things are going if you aren't already diagnosed, again, with high blood pressure or diabetes, for example, or hyperlipidemia or high cholesterol.
So it's not about, we all know exercise is good for us, but if you're on a litany of medications, which we've definitely seen in the past, just jumping into a routine of whatever it is, you need to take a step back and look at what you're taking, because even though those good things that you get from exercise can be counterbalanced by the medication in some way.
Correct. So your doctor can help you develop a plan of attack from that aspect as well. So I kind of was just going to jump right in. Yeah. Kind of the main things. So again, hypertension or high blood pressure. A lot of people go on a few relatively common groups of medication. The first one being a diuretic. So you might have heard this as your water pill. Generally, you take it in the morning. I don't want to go into specific names because then I don't want you to say, oh, I'm on this, I got to get off it, or whatever. Maybe you need to stay on it, so that's why I want you to go talk to your doctor. But a lot of those drugs work by forcing the kidney to excrete more sodium and potassium. When we exercise, especially at high intensities, we tend to sweat, especially during the summers here in Indiana, and we are losing potassium and sodium that way as well. So muscle cramps and fatigue, slower recovery times, those are things we need to think about if we're on those medications, and what do we do about it? How do we manage those safely? Because low potassium, again, can be a problem, but then some of them also cause high potassium, and that can also be an issue.
Okay.
So that's, again, why it's important to talk to your doctor, get some labs done, and just kind of see what's going on as you get into your fitness routine, wherever that may be.
Okay.
So.
All right.
One of the other medications that we see a lot of, they're called beta blockers. Again, used for high blood pressure. They work in the kidneys as well. Our kidneys are actually more important in blood pressure than a lot of people think. Everyone assumes heart. But our kidneys actually, the blood vessels that go in and out of those kidneys act as almost like a gauge, a pressure gauge for our bodies to know what's good blood pressure and what's bad. So it acts there, but it also acts on our heart muscle. And one of the things a beta blocker is going to do is actually prevent your heart muscle from contracting too fast. So it slows that down and forces it to be at a little more normal of a heart rate. That's all well and good when we're doing our daily routines, but one of the things that we can come across is orthostatic hypotension, which basically means I'm sitting down, I stand up, I get dizzy. Well, we have a lot of movements in CrossFit where we're going from low to high elevation, box jumps, burpees, any ground overhead movement, thrusters. My favorite, doesn't mean I can't do those if I'm on a beta blocker. It means I have to be aware that my body might not adjust to that change in height, the rapid movements, as easily.
And the main symptom would be dizziness?
Dizziness would be the main symptom. If it's really bad, you can get almost a little bit of disorientation. You may feel like you're going to pass out. That will recover as you kind of calm yourself back down. It's just something to be aware of. Again, working through your medication list with your doctor, your pharmacist, you're going to be able to find those drugs that might be high risk for some of these side effects. Again, you don't know until you ask, so those are some things to think about as you move through your progression.
Okay, cool. I know this wasn't on there, and I don't want to throw you for a loop, but I'm interested just from my own experience of having people come in and sitting down with, everybody that comes to the gym, I sit down and talk to them at some point, or does our challenge, I talk to them, and the amount of people on some sort of either anti-anxiety or antidepressant med that is then incorporating the workout routine, what kind of, is there any concerns that you should be looking at specifically within those kinds of medications and training?
Okay, yeah, so those medications, I think the big thing that we need to remember with those, one of the side effects is weight gain, and also it's very difficult to lose weight if you're on those medications. That's okay. I mean, that's just part of the nature of the beast. So I think, again, working with the whole health spectrum, how are you eating? Are these medications, are you at the right dose? As you lose weight, do you need to be on such a high dose? Those things you can discuss with your physician. But again, don't be discouraged. If you're on, like, let's say, an antidepressant, and you're noticing that you're just not losing weight like you had hoped you were, sometimes those can cause that. Your mental health is more important than a few pounds here, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. I think, because I've had a lot of people come in and try, the goal is to lose weight, and then we go through, well, what meds are you taking, and it's a cacophony of things, and then they wonder why we hit a stall, we can't lose any weight or even gain weight sometimes.
Right.
So I think, and that's where Ben's being very generous in his time and saying that if you have questions about that, reach out to us, filter through the gym, and we'll get Ben involved. But he'll do, what do you just call it, a medication review or med review. Yeah. He'll kind of see where you're at, and it may answer some questions, I think, because I don't know nearly enough about it much as Ben, but I do see there seems to be a lot of different side effects that maybe we don't even understand or realize, and so it's not as clear cut sometimes as I change my diet and work out a little bit more and I'm not losing the weight, I'm not getting this. Well, if we're on several different meds, who knows what else could be at play there.
Right, and that doesn't, I think, again, I've heard some of your talks about people being different. Everybody's body chemistry is different. You just are going to have to work with what you got. I mean, sometimes it just, life throws you some curveballs, and so at least be educated on it. This is why things are the way they are. Maybe this is why I feel dizzy when I work out. Well, if you come to find out that you're on a drug that actually has that side effect, maybe you can talk to your doctor about a different alternative drug. Maybe there's a lower dose you can take. There's lots of things you can do. Don't accept that as the status quo. Start educating yourself and be your own advocate for these things.
Be your own advocate. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, really knowledge is power with those medications, just to know where you have to, where you can maybe make adjustments, and where you need to understand that that's your limitation, that's your plateau or your peak.
Yeah, awesome. So again, reach out to us if you have specific questions when you get to Ben, and then even drop them in the comments. I think he's got a really cool perspective. You know, he's got one foot in the traditional medicine, pharmaceutical side, and then he's got this side in here where he's helping people get better through training and nutrition, all that kind of stuff. So he's got some really good insights that cross paths that I don't think really exist in that much capacity out there. So feel free to reach out. Ben's gonna, like I said, be generous with his time, so let us know if you have any questions and we'll get back to you. Maybe do round 2 if we have a lot more feedback and other questions.
Yep.
Cool?
Sounds good.
All right, see you guys later.